Regenesys Business School, developing sound leadership skills in business and public management. Studying with Regenesys Business School gives you access to a world-class education delivered through contact learning or our cutting-edge digital learning platforms. By the time you graduate, you will have gained invaluable knowledge, experience, and support from our captains of industry, government officials, and high-profile entrepreneurs who regularly deliver engaging leadership conversations to our students and alumni. Regenesys qualifications, such as the MBA and a variety of postgraduate diplomas, bachelor's degrees, and higher certificates, are fully accredited and internationally recognized. Our directors handpick top-rated facilitators from around the world to engage our students and clients. Our authentic and integrated approach to intellectual, emotional, and spiritual intelligence is what gives our students an edge in the workplace. Classes are held at our campus in Sandton at company-specific venues nationally. Invest in yourself by joining Regenesys Business School and awaken your potential.
Welcome to Regenesys School of Public Management, where we prepare our students to serve as leaders in the public sector. We impart leadership and management skills required to manage government departments, parastatals, and non-government organizations. Our public management courses, which comprise a higher certificate, bachelor's degree, postgraduate diploma, and master's degree, are developed to provide students a thorough grasp of the subject. At Regenesys, we believe that public management is more than just a job, it's a calling. It takes conscious leadership to make a positive impact on society, and we equip our graduates with the skills and knowledge to do just that. Join Regenesys School of Public Management, where true leaders are awakened.
Regenesys Business School, developing sound leadership skills in business and public management. Studying with Regenesys Business School gives you access to a world-class education delivered through contact learning or our cutting-edge digital learning platforms. By the time you graduate, you will have gained invaluable knowledge, experience, and support from our captains of industry, government officials, and high-profile entrepreneurs who regularly deliver engaging leadership conversations to our students and alumni. Regenesys qualifications, such as the MBA and a variety of postgraduate diplomas, bachelor's degrees, and higher certificates, are fully accredited and internationally recognized. Our directors handpick top-rated facilitators from around the world to engage our students and clients. Our authentic and integrated approach to intellectual, emotional, and spiritual intelligence is what gives our students an edge in the workplace. Classes are held at our campus in Sandton, at company-specific venues nationally. Invest in yourself by joining Regenesys Business School and awaken your potential.
Welcome to Regenesys School of Public Management, where we prepare our students to serve as leaders in the public sector. We impart leadership and management skills required to manage government departments, parastatals, and non-government organizations. Our public management courses, which comprise a higher certificate, bachelor's degree, postgraduate diploma, and master's degree, are developed to provide students a thorough grasp of the subject. At Regenesys, we believe that public management is more than just a job, it's a calling. It takes conscious leadership to make a positive impact on society, and we equip our graduates with the skills and knowledge to do just that. Join Regenesys School of Public Management, where true leaders are awakened.
Regenesys Business School, developing sound leadership skills in business and public management. Studying with Regenesys Business School gives you access to a world-class education delivered through contact learning or our cutting-edge digital learning platforms. By the time you graduate, you will have gained invaluable knowledge, experience, and support from our captains of industry, government officials, and high-profile entrepreneurs who regularly deliver engaging leadership conversations to our students and alumni. Regenesys qualifications, such as the MBA and a variety of postgraduate diplomas, bachelor's degrees, and higher certificates, are fully accredited and internationally recognized. Our directors handpick top-rated facilitators from around the world to engage our students and clients. Our authentic and integrated approach to intellectual, emotional, and spiritual intelligence is what gives our students an edge in the workplace. Classes are held at our campus in Sandton, at company-specific venues nationally. Invest in yourself by joining Regenesys Business School and awaken your potential.
Welcome to Regenesys School of Public Management, where we prepare our students to serve as leaders in the public sector. We impart leadership and management skills required to manage government departments, parastatals, and non-government organizations. Our public management courses, which comprise a higher certificate, bachelor's degree, postgraduate diploma, and master's degree, are developed to provide students a thorough grasp of the subject. At Regenesys, we believe that public management is more than just a job, it's a calling. It takes conscious leadership to make a positive impact on society, and we equip our graduates with the skills and knowledge to do just that. Join Regenesys School of Public Management, where true leaders are awakened.
Regenesys Business School, developing sound leadership skills in business and public management. Studying with Regenesys Business School gives you access to a world-class education delivered through contact learning or our cutting-edge digital learning platforms. By the time you graduate, you will have gained invaluable knowledge, experience, and support from our captains of industry, government officials, and high-profile entrepreneurs who regularly deliver engaging leadership conversations to our students and alumni. Regenesys qualifications, such as the MBA and a variety of postgraduate diplomas, bachelor's degrees, and higher certificates, are fully accredited and internationally recognized. Our directors handpick top-rated facilitators from around the world to engage our students and clients. Our authentic and integrated approach to intellectual, emotional, and spiritual intelligence is what gives our students an edge in the workplace. Classes are held at our campus in Sandton at company-specific venues nationally. Invest in yourself by joining Regenesys Business School and awaken your potential.
Welcome to Regenesys School of Public Management, where we prepare our students to serve as leaders in the public sector. We impart leadership and management skills required to manage government departments, parastatals, and non-government organizations. Our public management courses, which comprise a higher certificate, bachelor's degree, postgraduate diploma, and master's degree, are developed to provide students a thorough grasp of the subject. At Regenesys, we believe that public management is more than just a job, it's a calling. It takes conscious leadership to make a positive impact on society, and we equip our graduates with the skills and knowledge to do just that. Join Regenesys School of Public Management, where true leaders are awakened.
Regenesys Business School, developing sound leadership skills in business and public management. Studying with Regenesys Business School gives you access to a world-class education delivered through contact learning or our cutting-edge digital learning platforms. By the time you graduate, you will have gained invaluable knowledge, experience, and support from our captains of industry, government officials, and high-profile entrepreneurs who regularly deliver engaging leadership conversations to our students and alumni. Regenesys qualifications, such as the MBA and a variety of postgraduate diplomas, bachelor's degrees, and higher certificates, are fully accredited and internationally recognized. Our directors handpick top-rated facilitators from around the world to engage our students and clients. Our authentic and integrated approach to intellectual, emotional, and spiritual intelligence is what gives our students an edge in the workplace. Classes are held at our campus in Sandton at company-specific venues nationally. Invest in yourself by joining Regenesys Business School and awaken your potential.
Welcome to Regenesys School of Public Management, where we prepare our students to serve as leaders in the public sector. We impart leadership and management skills required to manage government departments, parastatals, and non-government organizations. Our public management courses, which comprise a higher certificate, bachelor's degree, postgraduate diploma, and master's degree, are developed to provide students a thorough grasp of the subject. At Regenesys, we believe that public management is more than just a job, it's a calling. It takes conscious leadership to make a positive impact on society, and we equip our graduates with the skills and knowledge to do just that. Join Regenesys School of Public Management, where true leaders are awakened.
Regenesys Business School, developing sound leadership skills in business and public management. Studying with Regenesys Business School gives you access to a world-class education delivered through contact learning or our cutting-edge digital learning platforms. By the time you graduate, you will have gained invaluable knowledge, experience, and support from our captains of industry, government officials, and high-profile entrepreneurs who regularly deliver engaging leadership conversations to our students and alumni. Regenesys qualifications, such as the MBA and a variety of postgraduate diplomas, bachelor's degrees, and higher certificates, are fully accredited and internationally recognized. Our directors handpick top-rated facilitators from around the world to engage our students and clients. Our authentic and integrated approach to intellectual, emotional, and spiritual intelligence is what gives our students an edge in the workplace. Classes are held at our campus in Sandton at company-specific venues nationally. Invest in yourself by joining Regenesys Business School and awaken your potential.
Welcome to Regenesys School of Public Management, where we prepare our students to serve as leaders in the public sector. We impart leadership and management skills required to manage government departments, parastatals, and non-government organizations. Our public management courses, which comprise a higher certificate, bachelor's degree, postgraduate diploma, and master's degree, are developed to provide students a thorough grasp of the subject. At Regenesys, we believe that public management is more than just a job, it's a calling. It takes conscious leadership to make a positive impact on society, and we equip our graduates with the skills and knowledge to do just that. Join Regenesys School of Public Management, where true leaders are awakened.
Regenesys Business School, developing sound leadership skills in business and public management. Studying with Regenesys Business School gives you access to a world-class education delivered through contact learning or our cutting-edge digital learning platforms. By the time you graduate, you will have gained invaluable knowledge, experience, and support from our captains of industry, government officials, and high-profile entrepreneurs who regularly deliver engaging leadership conversations to our students and alumni. Regenesys qualifications, such as the MBA and a variety of postgraduate diplomas, bachelor's degrees, and higher certificates, are fully accredited and internationally recognized. Our directors handpick top-rated facilitators from around the world to engage our students and clients. Our authentic and integrated approach to intellectual, emotional, and spiritual intelligence is what gives our students an edge in the workplace. Classes are held at our campus in Sandton at company-specific venues nationally. Invest in yourself by joining Regenesys Business School and awaken your potential.
Welcome to Regenesys School of Public Management, where we prepare our students to serve as leaders in the public sector. We impart leadership and management skills required to manage government departments, parastatals, and non-government organizations. Our public management courses, which comprise a higher certificate, bachelor's degree, postgraduate diploma, and master's degree, are developed to provide students a thorough grasp of the subject. At Regenesys, we believe that public management is more than just a job, it's a calling. It takes conscious leadership to make a positive impact on society, and we equip our graduates with the skills and knowledge to do just that. Join Regenesys School of Public Management, where true leaders are awakened.
Regenesys Business School, developing sound leadership skills in business and public management. Studying with Regenesys Business School gives you access to a world-class education delivered through contact learning or our cutting-edge digital learning platforms. By the time you graduate, you will have gained invaluable knowledge, experience, and support from our captains of industry, government officials, and high-profile entrepreneurs who regularly deliver engaging leadership conversations to our students and alumni. Regenesys qualifications, such as the MBA and a variety of postgraduate diplomas, bachelor's degrees, and higher certificates, are fully accredited and internationally recognized. Our directors handpick top-rated facilitators from around the world to engage our students and clients. Our authentic and integrated approach to intellectual, emotional, and spiritual intelligence is what gives our students an edge in the workplace. Classes are held at our campus in Sandton at company-specific venues nationally. Invest in yourself by joining Regenesys Business School and awaken your potential.
Welcome to Regenesys School of Public Management, where we prepare our students to serve as leaders in the public sector. We impart leadership and management skills required to manage government departments, parastatals, and non-government organizations. Our public management courses, which comprise a higher certificate, bachelor's degree, postgraduate diploma, and master's degree, are developed to provide students a thorough grasp of the subject. At Regenesys, we believe that public management is more than just a job, it's a
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Can we start settling in at our seats and take your final soft drink to orders before we start? Dr. Sharavanya, if you could settle down, please. Good evening and welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you to the home of Regenesys here in Sandton, South Africa. Why do I mention South Africa? Because I want to welcome our online viewers today. We have just over 1,000 viewers all the way from Lagos in Nigeria, Mumbai, Tanzania, Uganda, Philippines, Croatia. Did I miss out anyone? Kenya, our new home in Kenya as well. Welcome to all of you. Just some basic housekeeping rules. I know this is a techno geek function, so there must be tablets, smartphones, and every type of tech in the room. Please put it on silent, but I do encourage you to go viral, posting, tweeting, Instagramming, whatever you do that makes you feel tech vibey, go ahead. Keep your phone on silent. To my left, as you pass the reception desk, and on the left of the reception desk are the ladies and the gents. The first, the ladies, and then a little about 2 or 3 meters down, the gents. Okay, so if you need to go, if you could just keep to the sides of the table and go around that way. Again, welcome to all the viewers online. Welcome to the people in the room. For those who don't know me as yet, my name is Indarani Jolene Reddy, and I am the Chief Operating Officer of Regenesys. It is my pleasure to introduce the main brains behind the school, but I'll do that a little bit later. This venue tonight, when I look around at the esteemed audience that we have been blessed to accept our RSV, is a powerhouse of tech. If Eskom even dared mess with us tonight, just energy and the tech in this room would light up Sandton. You know what? Not even Sandton, I'm sure South Africa as a whole. We've got Google SA country head, Dr. Alistair Mokoena, with us tonight. Let's give him a round of applause. With us as well is AI specialist Ridwan Basuddin of Microsoft. Amazon Web Service Solutions architect Terence Naidu that flew in for us from Cape Town. Intel's Africa and EMEA Chief Technology Officer, Dr. Binvo Soglo. Another round of applause. Other distinguished guests, Dr. Julian Naidu, friend and faculty of Regenesys, Mr. Phil Canham, Chairman of Canham Corporation International. Let's give them a round of applause or they'll feel neglected, right? Memes Sejosengwe, the Office of the Chief Justice, and a friend of Regenesys for some 20 years. Thank you so much for being with us today. Public Service and Administration Director General Yoliswa Makise. Donaldson's Attorneys, a partner of the Regenesys School of Law that's joined us tonight at the table there. Thank you so much, Pascal and your team. Dr. Reggie Reddy, a former member of the Regenesys Foundation. The voice, princess and queen of Africa, Yvonne Shaka Shaka. Last but not least, I said I'll introduce the brains of the school much later, but I cannot move on without giving them an applause as well. Our co-founders, Mr. William Vivian, co-founder, Dr. Penny Law, the chairperson and founder of Regenesys, the one that started disrupting us, Dr. Marco Sharavanya. Now that word of disruption, like how he disrupted us at the beginning of this, is going to continue. The birth of Regenesys is about disruption. It's about innovation. It's about being a serial entrepreneur. And so when you get him, you'll realize why I called him a disruptor right at the beginning as well. So a little bit about why. You know, when we embark on something, if we don't have a strong why, we give up somewhere. Each of us has to have a why that drives us, right? So why are we launching the School of Technology? 4IR. You remember those days where everybody was talking blockchain, machine learning, AI, big data? Remember those days? Right? Everything was about digital transformation in 4IR. All of a sudden, what are we talking about now? CEO, School of Technology. What is the buzzword? AI, right? So we've transitioned from 4IR, and sitting here as global citizens, when we look at our review mirror, we can see the gaps in 4IR. Very clever people in the world, cyber fraud, the dark internet. So we're looking at what are some of the top skills employers need to look at. I looked at the World Economic Forum list of the top 10 employee skills that we need for 2025 to transition successfully from 4 and 5IR. And these skills look at attributes that the Regenesys graduates possess: analytical thinking, complex problem solving, critical thinking, creativity, leadership, social influence, stress tolerance, agility, flexibility, emotional quotient. I'm going to talk about this when I talk about the holistic model. Regenesys takes pride in helping students develop these soft skills in tandem with technical skills. What makes it unique among accredited tertiary institutes worldwide is how the program is designed to instill these soft skills in students, ensuring that they remain relevant in an ever-changing world of work, and they will strive to build a better, more sustainable world for future generations. This school was ahead of its time. We created a demand for a supply 25 years ago. 25 years ago, when Regenesys started, its foundation was based on holistic human development. And the holistic human development is really the answer to 5IR. How do we move from being very clever, technical, AI, astute people that can corrupt and lead the world astray, where future generations will blame us for our irresponsibility, for our unethical behavior, for not being sustainable on the planet, people, and destroying moral compasses? We will be that generation that will create dinosaurs in the future of our nation if we do not take accountability. Now, 25 years ago, when Regenesys was birthed, it was birthed on this philosophy of sustainability, of conscious leadership, of making an impact in the world through the ripple effect of leadership. So I used the word a few times, this acronym, 5 Qs. We're all familiar with IQ, right? The intelligence quotient. And especially the tech geeks, you pride yourselves as the leading IQ people in the world, right? Mathematicians, chemists, and tech. Now, IQ just gets you in the door. What you do with your IQ as a leader then determines sustainability and effective conscious leadership and sustainability. And so the other Qs is what Regenesys brings to the fore in the way we manage our students, lead our students, transform our students. IQ gets you in the door. EQ, emotional quotient. You've heard this, right? You have. This was very relevant in 4IR. And this is talking about how do I manage self? How do I master self? That if I'm able to lead self, I'm able to influence my team, my people, and my community to a certain degree. To a certain degree. Now, 5IR really talks about the why, the consciousness, the ethics, and that is spiritual quotient. So here at Regenesys, when we say spiritual quotient, we're not talking about religion. We're talking about the fundamental values of human existence. Who am I? Why am I here? What is my impact in the world? What is the special, unique gift that I bring to change the world? And that is a responsibility that comes with leadership. So in spiritual quotient, we teach you about purpose and passion with purpose. Because when you lead with purpose and passion, the profits will follow. Whereas 4IR leads a lot about profitability. And it's a push. 5IR is reeling it back and bringing humanity back into the tech space. And this is where Regenesys really has its strength. IQ, EQ, SQ, PQ, physical quotient. When you become a student, for those that have not registered as yet at Regenesys, you'll go through our personal mastery module. We'll cover EQ, SQ, and PQ. PQ, physical quotient. So I've got the brain, I've got the intellect, I've got the passion, I've got my why. But can you imagine if I collapse tomorrow with the next pandemic and I'm wiped out? What happens to those future goals that I've got for myself when I turn 30, right? Did someone find that funny, right? But by the time I get to 70 and 80, right, what's going to happen if I'm wiped out? So PQ is about keeping the body fit for purpose as well. We have a gym that's to my right at Regenesys, but even online. Online, we have classes of high intensity, mindfulness, and this is all around shaping the body and the person holistically. Financial quotient. We have My Wealth Services, and a module in our personal mastery course teaches you about managing your personal finances. But you can only earn money and grow money into abundance if you move beyond serving and getting paid for time, right? As long as you get paid for time, you can't. You'll be limited to whatever that value is. At My Wealth, we trade on the stock market. We teach you about how to break your fears around money, creating an abundance mindset so that money can work for you while you are working. At this present moment, when we stand here, we're standing with the 4 IR behind us, and we're standing in the midst of 5 IR. But we can't, even though we can theorize and talk about it, 5 IR can only move forward when people come together from government, from business, from education. The two equalizes, technology and education, and make a choice. So you've come here today to hear why Regenesys. This was a choice we made 25 years ago. Now it's you that get exposed to it and decide whether you partner with us. The choice is the choice to be responsible, the choice to be ethical, the choice to make profits through purpose and conscious leadership. This is the point of redirecting technology to a place where it's not just technology used to create geniuses, but geniuses that can transform the world. The choice is yours today. I want to move to the next part of our program. And this is where I introduce the School of Technology's inaugural qualification within context of where it's been playing in technology. I'm going to hand over shortly to our CEO, Nico Kruger, that heads up our school, and a little bit about Nico. Nico's career has spanned pivotal roles in companies like Get Smarter that was sold for over R1 billion. He's played in the education, but specifically in the tech space. And when I introduced our esteemed speakers early on, I mentioned Dr. Makuna, Dr. Soglo, Terence Naidu, Ridwan, and these are industry captains to give you an example of the taste of where we want to take our School of Technology. Our School of Technology is not just about theory. It's about combining theory as well as industry experience so that our students have an immersed experience of not just our 5Q module and theory, but also industry experience. Nico exemplifies dedication to education, innovation, and technology, reflecting his unwavering commitment to making a meaningful contribution to the world through education. So without much ado, hold on to your seats for the fantastic lineup we have with the speakers coming up. But I'd like to bring Nico on board to just give you a taste of what our School of Technology will embark on. There will be a networking session later where you'll get to meet all our esteemed guests, and there will be supper served as well. So for those of you whose tummies are rumbling because you just came from work, there's some snacks on your table. Please partake in the snacks and participate online with us as well as in this room. To those of you that are online, Stick with us. This is just the appetizer. We've got main courses coming up with our speakers that will pique your interest. And we end off with a keynote address by our very own founder, Dr. Marco Sharavanya, who's a serial entrepreneur that will inspire you as to what the importance of the school is for us as our 5th school that has been launched at Regenesys this year, and the journey of our School of Technology and the impact we wish to make across the world through conscious leadership. Without further ado, over to you, Nico Kruger.
And Ronnie, can you hear me? There we go. And Ronnie, thank you so much. Thank you for the introduction. This is for me personally a very momentous occasion. I see everyone here. Thank you for coming out. It's such a big occasion for Regenesys as a group. And I am very excited just to speak to you a little bit about the school. And I will want to engage with some of you after this. So we'll have some conversations as well. So tonight we're celebrating the inauguration of the School of Technology. But through the past 3 years, through Digital Regenesys, we have been training over 10,000 students, training them in different disciplines, artificial intelligence, cybersecurity. So we're by no means with the start of the School of Technology only making a start now. We have a footprint already. We've been doing that in over 10 countries, and I'm very excited to actually share with you that we'll also be moving into 10 new countries within Africa to make a further impact through through the School of Technology. We've got a commitment, and this is very important too. We've got a commitment to our students. We've got a commitment to our partners in industry. And for our students, it's a commitment that they're going to receive the best possible education. We've got top faculty in South Africa and India standing by to give our students, give them an education second to none. And it's really exciting as I'm working with this team of faculty to really see what it is that we're going to be providing to our students. We focus on best practice, and our faculty is going to grow. As the School of Technology grows, we are going to keep on growing and bringing in top-class faculty from across the world. For our students, they're not just a number. We are focused on each one of our students. We want to make sure that each one of our students get to that finish line. The school is very entrepreneurial, so we want to create students that don't just become job seekers, but actually become job creators. And it's something that's very close to my heart as well. And Dr. Savanya will also talk about that a bit later. The entrepreneurial aspect of Regenesys is very, very important to us. We're ultimately here to change lives. We're ultimately here to awaken our students' potential. Closeness to business is also going to be very important to me, and that's why we've got some of our partners here tonight. We're going to have some really good speakers coming up on stage, and Ronnie mentioned them. But Helen Keller said, alone we can do so little. Together, we can do much. And community is going to be key in the school. Alumni pay it forward to the students that we've got that are currently going through the programs. Industry, private sector, also engaging with our students through career expos. The sky's the limit. If we can create this community where industry, our partners, our faculty, our students all come together towards changing South Africa, changing Africa, and ultimately affecting change in the globe, nobody can stop us. So it's going to be a collaboration, a mutualism towards success. We want our students to be introduced to these companies and get options where they can really engage with these companies. That's a great outcome for our students, knowing at the starting point there are those options. But these companies, our partners, also have the opportunity to get top students, top graduates that can work for their businesses. We encourage our students to think creatively and turn ideas into reality. And Anurani went through it. The holistic approach is very important to us. The holistic development, nurturing purpose-driven individuals that ultimately become conscious leaders is really important to us at Regenesys. The holistic development, she touched on that, not just focusing on the IQ, but really involving students in understanding how they can develop financially, physically, is really, really important. I want to have the conversations with industry where we really talk about, the hot topics, artificial intelligence. I've had many conversations this week around artificial intelligence already, and I think I'm going to have some more tonight. But the Internet of Things, blockchain, quantum computing, there's so many areas that this school can play a part in and really have the output where we've got world-class graduates that go into the industry. Our mission is one of impact. I mentioned it. We want to aim to affect positive change, not just here in South Africa, not just in Africa, but globally, a global approach. We want to instill a sense of purpose and passion for lifelong learning. And in the School of Technology, as I said, everybody counts. So let's partner towards quality education in an industry where we can really reflect and we can work towards change together. Tech education can really change lives. I've been a witness to this. And in the School of Technology, we can make it happen. We can affect that positive change. And I, for one, am very excited for this school, my school, the School of Technology, making it start. But it's not the last you're going to hear of us. Watch this space. Thank you very much.
I think Nico is being really, really humble. So part of our School of Technology, tonight we're celebrating that we received our accreditation around the BSc in computer science. But the School of Technology has been in space now since the start of COVID, right? We've already have thousands of students across Africa, thousands that are engaging with us in short programs in artificial intelligence, data science, robotics, machine learning, Power BI. So these are courses that are already run by Regenesys. So we've already got those future leaders that we're talking about. They're already on our database. Now we're taking them onto the next level from digital Regenesys under the School of Technology into our accredited courses from Bachelor in Computer Science. And then we're going to be moving on to the Master of Science, right, while our students are here. So we look forward to a very, very exciting journey with Nico and his faculty. Dr. Shilpa is here today all the way from India, where we import our tech skills. Where is our human capital of the world? Dr. Shilpa is also here. Let's give them a round of applause. This is the advantage of the footprint that Regenesys has. Being in 8 countries across the world gives us the ability to tap into India, where we have 400 staff at Regenesys, 400 staff in the human capital of the world, that we're able to tap into experts in artificial intelligence, the best in data science, the best in robotics. So thank you, and we look forward to some exciting, revolutionary stuff from this tech team. Give them a round of applause. Thank you. I'm going to move internally to externally. Our next speaker is Terence Naidu, our jet setter locally, who's just come in to grace us with his presence. Thank you very much, Terence. Terence is with Amazon Web Services. So if we have any Wi-Fi disconnection tonight, it will be Terence and Naidu's fault. Terence is a solutions architect at AWS. He has a career that spans over 20 years, and he's very committed to using technology and driving leadership at AWS to have global impact. Since joining AWS, Terence has been instrumental in expanding practice through talent development. He was just talking to us about countries in Africa that have already flew into Cape Town that he's meeting tomorrow. And this is really talking about their global strategy. He spent many years at Accenture as well as a technical architect. So without further ado, I'm going to ask Terence to come and enlighten us about his work at AWS and how he sees his partnership at Regenesys transforming lives. Over to you, Terence Naidu. You know how you know the techies in the room? Huh? Yeah. When you tell techies, smart casual to formal, and they pitch up with their jacket and their jeans and tackies, you know these are the techie geeks.
Thanks very much for that great introduction. I dressed up. I'm wearing a shirt. I presented to boards and C-suites with this kind of setup. In fact, if you see Andy Jassy, the Amazon.com CEO, this is how he dresses for keynotes and that kind of sessions. So this is the top tier for me. So it's really quite warm in this room, right? And I haven't figured it out yet. As Amazon, we like, innovating on tech. We haven't yet figured out how to get heat from human bodies to create energy and solve the energy crisis. I'm sure we'll figure it out soon. So from Amazon Web Services, where I am, I lead the solution architecture function for AWS in Africa. So what that means is effectively my team, which operates, I've got teams in Johannesburg, Cape Town, in Lagos in Nigeria, and Nairobi in Kenya. And I've got some people in my team based in Dubai that kind of supports the rest of the other 54 countries across the continent. But effectively, what we do is we're here to advise customers on strategy, technology strategy primarily, how to get value out of tech for the business. And then there's a bit of like what actual tech to use and that kind of stuff. But when our speakers earlier were talking about education, effectively what we're doing as a team is helping educate and create awareness and drive an understanding of what technology can do in business and community, and to collectively uplift all of our economies. So earlier in the year, I was looking at how many customers are actually running on AWS in Africa, and we have more than 10,000 active customers already adopting cloud across the continent. We would have seen, if you're following the cloud space, how many of you are in kind of in the tech space? Wow, that's much more than I expected. Welcome. For everyone else's talk is for you as well, so don't worry, I'm not going to concentrate too much on tech. But we've seen companies like Old Mutual, a 178-year-old insurance business, close down data centers, adopt cloud, move fully into the cloud, and are now operating at a much more secure, reliable fashion. And they're now reinventing their business using things like machine learning, generative AI, and modernizing their applications. We've also seen the birth of new digital companies like Time Bank, who are fully digital. They've used the AWS cloud to build their first bank in 24 months, their next bank in 13 months, their most recent bank in 6 months, and bank number 4 is on the way as well. So we've got a lot of local in Africa strong customers using cloud to empower their business. But actually, cloud is still relatively new and growing, especially in Africa. Recently you would have seen the Google region launch. We've had Microsoft, Microsoft quite a long time now. What was it, 2019 or something like that? Launched a region. Yeah, I'm not an expert on Microsoft, but yeah. So what many of you may not realize is that actually cloud computing was born in Africa. So we as Amazon are the origins of our main services, which went to market first. There's a service called EC2, which is our virtual cloud compute, was actually started by tech teams in 2004 in Cape Town. And we still have a very large development center that's actually developing our core services and still supporting global customers running AWS technology from Cape Town. But the investment in Africa, even though we have the dev center and we're using developers to develop our services, we actually only started AWS as a commercial entity in South Africa in 2016. And we ourselves launched our infrastructure region in Cape Town only in April 2020. So that's like not even 4 years old, and we've got massive cloud adoption, right? And in South Africa, we've got a local zone coming to Johannesburg quite soon. And then very quickly, we switched to investing in Nigeria. So in Nigeria, we launched our edge locations. We launched a local zone in January last year. And we've launched local offices and local presence in 2022. Rolling forward, we've also invested in Kenya. We've got a development center that opened up a few months ago, similar to Cape Town, not on that scale yet, but we're getting developers in Kenya to develop the next set of AWS technology. And we're also going to launch our technology infrastructure in terms of a local zone quite soon in Nairobi as well. And despite cloud being so core to what we're doing in Africa, we still see the need for not just the infrastructure regions that we have and the different locations where data center buildings are. We're connecting the world and covering the world in cloud technology. So we've now even got solutions where you could go deploy AWS technology in your own premises, in your factory, down a mine if you need to, and still use it as you would use our cloud services in the region. And connectivity in Africa is also a challenge. Yes, Kenya is super well connected. South Africa's kind of getting there. But we've taken on the challenge of connecting the globe. And so we recently launched Project Kuiper, which is our low Earth orbit satellite initiative. And we're using low Earth orbit connectivity to connect remote centers to the cloud. And in fact, next year, we will be testing out that functionality in obviously a pilot POC mode, but in South Africa, we will be commencing that testing. So our investment into Africa is certainly huge, not just because we want to invest and deploy technology all over the world, but it is because of the potential that we see in Africa, the tremendous potential, not just in South Africa, not just in Nigeria or Kenya, but across the continent. And to give you an idea of how much we're looking to invest, just in the infrastructure in South Africa, we've planned investment of 46 billion rands that we will spend by the end of 2029. And that we have already seen projected to create an uplift in 80 billion rands of GDP, and that has already created 5,700 jobs locally. So these details, if you want to read more about it, we have an economic impact study we released last year, and so that is publicly available as well. Okay, so how are we exactly helping customers? I mentioned my team is typically when we start engaging with a customer, we find a pilot project, something to get started with, something that is going to have some good business value, but could be less critical or something new that the customer is looking to do. We use that pilot project to kind of get an understanding of how would you do this on the cloud, get them started. We bring our teams in to help educate, to help support. We then go on to create all the good things like the cloud foundations, the security, the platform to operate and run. And then customers, like Old Mutual, move on to migration and migrate entire estates. We have other customers that go to create net new solutions, things like generative AI-based solutions or new products, new digital offerings. But what we've seen is that customers can get started really quickly, and as they try to ramp up through the business, there's always going to be the need to educate and bring people along. There's definitely a culture shift that we see in all organizations that we touch that adopt cloud and are on some sort of digital innovation journey. So I think that's why events like this is so good, because we're all here because we're passionate about learning. We want to understand technology and what it can do for the business, but there are so many other skills, like our speakers earlier mentioned, that we need to take into account. It's those leadership skills, the critical thinking about business, and just the way we engage, we run projects, etc. Those are all critical to achieving success. Now, when we talk about things like machine learning, AI, we've seen quite a lot of interest recently. I think probably, let's say 70-80% of my engagement at C-suite and executives in the last, let's say, a year has been about artificial intelligence. How are we using it? How are we working responsibly? How are we controlling the risk? And in fact, it's more than just a technologies discussion. And so what we've had to do is create a central capability, which we've called the Generative AI Innovation Center. We've invested more than $100 million in this. And the reason we had to do this is because the technology is there, but to get people to take advantage of the technology, you really need to support them all the way through. So from the idea, how do we take this idea, make sure we're asking the right kind of questions to business from a business lens? How are we targeting the right problems to solve? Then go into how do we experiment? How do we get answers quickly to understand where things are working, not working? And that's required us to put together a team of people who are entrepreneurs, strategists, technologists, scientists, to come together to support customers in that way. What we're expecting to do over time is to help create similar capabilities in our customers and in our partners, so that collectively us with our greater community can take advantage of technology and really change the world for good, whether it is in your business, whether it is to drive something internally, change the way you're interfacing with customers, etc. We're really investing from a people perspective in learning. So much so that a few years ago, we came up with an ambitious target for 2025, which was to educate 29 million people for free on cloud. And we've already got, I think earlier, sort of towards the end of last year, the number was already 26 million plus. And we're well on track to beat that target. So, I'd encourage you and your teams to take advantage of all of the free training available from a technology perspective. We've got a number of programs that look at, free online training. We've got programs that teach families how to adopt technology. We work with universities to help, we do things like Girl Tech Days, Tech Weeks. We've got a series called Deep Racer, which is AI-driven cars, and you can code your own algorithms and try to race other people and get a better time. So there's no shortage of free technical training. All of the tech companies give you training. You just need to get your people to spend time and go and do that. But tech training is not everything. You can get free training for a number of things, but it's all the things around the tech training that we also need to take into account. And I think that's where it's really great to partner with Regenesys as a school and have a holistic view of all the things you need to think about to drive technology forward as a tech leader, as a business leader. So I think that's kind of where the focus needs to be for the future. And just in closing, there are a few things I've been sharing with leadership across our largest customers. And when leaders at board level, CIOs, CEOs ask for advice on what to do in the technology space, there are a few things that I have repeatedly given as advice. One is rapid experimentation. So you want to experiment quickly, you want to learn quickly, you want to fail fast, you want to get the learnings and move on. The second bit is democratization of capabilities. Cloud, new tech, it's not the same as it was in the past where you've got to make a massive investment. Everyone needs to follow the same kind of patterns and rules. You can now get people everywhere to get access to technology quickly. That requires a different mindset around how you consume, how your organization culture is set up. So it's very important to give people the right access. And with that, of course, comes the right amount of visibility and control. Then my next advice, the third kind of bucket, is to, as leaders, to focus on what really matters. Focusing on things like strategic value and how you're going to beat your competitors in the market, what products you're going to offer. Those are the types of questions you should have, not how do I control this little bit of technology. You should look to outsource, go to cloud, look at where you can get the stuff, and focus on making that difference strategically in your business. And then the last bit is when you have good ideas, test them, and you've tested it out, you need to scale those ideas quickly. So you need, is that? Okay. I thought that was a really harsh, your time is up kind of thing. I would much prefer if everyone started singing and like slowly and then got louder as I was going. That would have been awesome. And then lastly, to have the right foundation for technology, the right cloud foundation, because we're a cloud company. My time's up. Yeah. So in closing, technology is great. The technology you need to innovate is here. Make sure you educate your people. You focus on culture, mindset, knowledge, and talent, and then you will achieve all the goals you set out to achieve. Thank you.
Thank you, Terence. I think they were testing their idea. You know, without technology and AWS, Regenesys wouldn't be broadcasting classes to more than 10,000 students across 8 countries. As I stand here now, classes run in the evening, and I actually, by oversight and apologies, I forgot to bring on Shamita Shetty as well as part of our School of Technology, who's really spearheaded digital Regenesys. So Shamita, if you won't mind standing up, so for everyone to also acknowledge you. Thank you, Shamita. Shamita has been the driver behind digital Regenesys and our short learning programs. Thank you so much for gracing us in South Africa for this school launch as well. So we really do bring in people from our different schools and not just on our website. We move on now to Dr. Binvenu Soglo. Dr. Soglo is with Government Affairs Africa and EMEA. He's the Chief Technology Officer at Intel Corporation. He leads policy and government affairs in Africa in areas such as 5G, broadband, security, privacy, and other areas of digital transformation. I'm not going to read his entire CV, but super impressive. But your multilingual proficiency in English, French, and Chinese completely enthralled me, as well as your PhD in control science and engineering that you did for 10 years in China. So welcome and thank you, Dr. Soglo.
Thank you very much, Program Director. Distinguished guests, distinguished participants, good evening. I would like to thank Regenesys School for inviting Intel as a guest speaker for the launch of the Regenesys School of Technology. My name is Bienvenu Agbokonto Soglo. I'm the Director of Government Affairs for Africa, but also our International Government Affairs CTO liaison at Intel Corporation. I'm delighted and honored to talk about how Intel is empowering Africa's future leaders. I don't know if you have some computers on your table or if you're there. Certainly you see Intel logo on that, Intel Inside, right? Intel is headquartered in Santa Clara in California, and we have more than 120,000 employees worldwide. And among those 120,000 employees, we have around 85% of those employees that are engineers. And so we are present in more than 53 countries around the world, including, of course, in Africa and in South Africa. Those engineers are shaping the future with computing and connectivity technologies. Intel has been an innovation company. We have been on the innovation journey for more than 50 years. When you talk about tri-gates, right? When you talk about architecture, x86, when you talk about memory, when you talk about connectivity, Ethernet, right? Wi-Fi, right? 4G, 5G. And we are excited about the next 50 years of innovation. Today, technology is increasingly central to every aspect of our human existence. And that is why Intel continues to create world-changing technology that improves the life of every person on the planet. As we look ahead to the next decade, we're going to see the continued digitization of everything, right? The way we work, the way we connect, the way we learn, the way we develop, and the way we operate. And that is why Intel continues to apply our reach, scale, and resources to drive innovation. We enable our customers to capitalize on the power of digital technology now and into the future. With every aspect of our lives becoming more digital, the technology industry needs to prepare for an era of sustained long-term demand. Semiconductors are the underlying technology powering the digitalization of everything. And this is being accelerated by what our Intel CEO, Pat Gelsinger, called the 5 superpowers. The first one is ubiquitous computing. So compute capabilities are entering into every aspect of our existence, serving as the human technology interaction point across existing devices and emerging form factors. Second superpower, pervasive connectivity, right? Whether it's 4G, whether it's 5G, whether it's coming 6G, whether it's Wi-Fi or any other technology, universal connectivity is enabling our customers and ourselves, of course, to collect, store, move, and analyze large data sets, enabling the design and delivery of incredible innovative business models, products, and services. Number 3, cloud to edge infrastructure. We are seeing that organizations are adopting distributed networks and tapping in the intelligence edge to process workloads that are closer to the customers. Number 4, artificial intelligence, right? We've heard earlier the presenter talking about AI just before we started here. Among the presenters, we also talk about AI. And AI is enabling intelligence everywhere to extract more value from data. And the 5th one is sensing. So through connected sensing, intelligent systems translate analog information into data, helping us identify objects, know where we are, hear everything, and even feel and taste. Now, as I said earlier, we're known for the computers, right? But Intel is much more than that, right? Our product offering provide an end-to-end solutions, scaling from edge computing to 5G networks, the cloud, and the emerging field of AI and autonomous driving to serve an increasingly smart and connected world. So, for example, if you are in Munich or in Paris and you see Mobileye, right, autonomous vehicles that are moving, know that, that is an Intel company where you have an Intel technology in it. We have reorganized the company into various business units. So you have our client computing group. That's where we have our processors for the computers. where you have different connectivity, capabilities. We have our data centers and AI business unit as well. There you hear about the Xeon and other capabilities that we have. We also have the network and edge, right? So when you talk about the communication networks, you talk about Open RAN. We have our 5G ASIC that are in the base station that are actually used there. And I talked about mobile earlier. And finally, we have our foundry services. So Intel is one of the few companies that actually design the technology and the processes, but also manufactures those technologies. Now, having talked about Intel globally, as Intel in Africa, we utilize our technology, global scale, and deep understanding of the market to invest in the continent by helping to create African solutions to African challenges. We are accelerating social and economic change via Intel technologies, focusing on, for example, digital government. There we support African administration e-government transformation, acting as a trusted technology advisor in the digital transformation journey. We are expanding digital readiness, engaging with government across the African continent to work together to upskill the youth and current workforce for current jobs and the jobs of the future. We are also supporting the African deep tech startup ecosystem in AI by enabling startups across the continent to drive innovation and leadership. It is worth mentioning that we also engage in African countries, regional economic communities, and continental organizations to drive harmonized continental policy and regulatory frameworks. And I recall earlier, before we started, we were discussing about, the complexity of, doing business on the African continent, where you have 54 countries, right? Potentially 54 different regulations. And therefore, to present the continent as a digital single market, there's a need to harmonize policies, right? To present it as one market to the investors. Now, as part of our Intel Rise strategy, we are investing in digital readiness program, which aims to empower the wider non-tech audiences with the appropriate data skill set, mindset, tool set, and opportunity to use technology responsibly in the AI-forward world. So the Intel Digital Readiness Program consists of 5 key programs. The first one, we call it AI for Citizens. And this program seeks to empower or to develop awareness and understanding of AI among the public. So this is usually a 4-hour course that allow, everybody to just understand what AI is about. The second program is our AI for Youth, where we seek to empower school students to learn and apply AI tech and social skills for real-world problem solving. The third one is our AI for Future Workforce, where we seek to empower future workforce from technical and vocational schools with necessary AI skills for employability in the digital economy. We also have the AI for current workforce, where we're looking at upskilling and reskilling members of the current workforce, such as, those of small and medium enterprises for immediate work impact. But we didn't forget the government officials. We didn't forget the government leaders. So we have a program called the Digital Readiness for Leaders. And this program seeks to empower government leaders on emerging technologies such as AI, of course, cloud, 5G, connectivity, intelligent edge, including Internet of Things, cybersecurity. And this is to help drive informed policymaking, right? Because policymakers, in order to make informed decisions, needs to understand what the technology is about. And that is what we're contributing towards too. And apart from those 5 programs, we have our Intel AI Global Impact Festival. And this is an annual digital readiness celebration and a platform for next generation technologists and teachers, as well as academia, ecosystem, and government partners to showcase AI innovation and impact. I heard the number from AWS earlier about, the skilling program. At Intel, we have what we call our RISE 2030 goal. And there we're looking at partnering with 30 governments and 30,000 institutions worldwide to empower more than 30 million people with AI skills training for current and future jobs. And actually, as of end of 2023, we've actually partnered with 28 governments, 23,970 institutions, and empowered 5.8 million people globally through our interdigital readiness program. And this includes Africa and South Africa. Specifically talking about South Africa. In South Africa, we have already launched our Intel AI for Future Workforce with Vocational College, BRITS, in 2022. And this program, as said earlier, seeks to empower future workforce with necessary AI skills for employability in a digital economy. The targeted audience are students aged 16 plus. They will gain AI technical confidence, enhance employability, and produce evidence for employment through AI projects that are capturing industrial or social impact. So the Intel AI for Future Workforce program is a 5-stage skilling journey to equip future workforce and has 39 modules and could actually go up to 216 hours. So in terms of the impact of the AI for Future Workforce that was launched here in South Africa with BRITS, in 2023, which means last year, all the students, which are 500 plus, they went through the non-technical portion of the program. That is the awareness part of the program. And then the students that progressed to the projects were approximately 25. They completed 5 projects. Why 5? Because they work in a team. This is the way that the project is designed. Out of those 5 projects, we have 2 of the projects that made it to the Intel AI Global Impact Festival, and 1 of the projects won a regional award from the Global Intel AI Impact Festival. So I just wanted to provide those examples to say the program I talk about, they are global, but we do have a number of them that has already been implemented in Africa and particularly in South Africa. As I conclude my remarks, I would like to congratulate Regenesys for the launch of the Regenesys School of Technology. And as our Intel co-founder, Robert Noy said, don't be encumbered by history. Go off and do something wonderful. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Dr. Soglo. I'm going to move forward in respect of time, and assure you we'll try as much as possible to catch up with time. Our next speaker is Ridwan Basadeen, who's the Principal Data and AI Specialist at Microsoft, who's navigated a 30-year journey in the IT domain. And he says he started off as a curious developer with a tenure before transitioning into Microsoft and specializing in the AI space. So over to you, Ridwan.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, captains of industry, pioneers in education and business, shaping the architects of the future. I love technology, of course. Yeah. Technology has taken me across the world. You name the place, I've probably been there. I had the wonderful opportunity to live in 2 countries outside of my beloved South Africa. And I say this because as a young teen, fiddling with basic code, I could never dream where technology would take me. And as I stand here before you, I like to, and I'm reminded of my journey from humble beginnings out in Cape Town, the Cape Flats, amid cyclical poverty, gangsterism, drugs that still plague that area to this very day. I caught up with some school friends recently. who still live there, and they have now kids that are facing the same, even I would say worse challenges than I faced. And I can almost hear that question forming in your minds. You know, the question, how did you get from there to here? What was the catalyst? How did you escape or dodge what was predestined by your surroundings? And that's a complex question. And the answer, I would say, has already been said, is pivoted around this fundamental element of education and technology. Now, I'm not only talking about the access to education, although that's quite important, and even the access to knowledge. You know, back then, it was an hour's walk to the closest library through not so nice neighborhoods. And I remember those dogs that were so angry. And you could take a bus or a taxi to the grand library where you would find all the books that you ever wanted and you could never, ever read. Yes, it was about access, but it was more about the relevance of that technology and the quality of the knowledge, right? The relevance of the knowledge. And so my journey was about that relevance, because that enabled me to move out of that surroundings and the trappings of where it was, because that relentless pursuit of knowledge was kind of it's impossible when you're walking in the streets of the Cape Flats or any community that is disadvantaged. It hits you in the face because that world of technology, that grand world, is nothing like the streets that you walk, right? And so there was, the turning point for me came when I met my first computer. It was in grade 7. Back then it was called Standard 5. And it wasn't about the awe of the technology, although that was there. It was about the fact that there was a window, here was a tool that I could use to carve a different path for my life and the life of my family. And I said, okay, well, let's go for it. And that was one piece, but it's not only about what we want often. It's about the mentors. For me, it was massively my family, the community around me, that recognized some potential in a young mind. And although you have your own challenges to deal with, you offer support, you offer encouragement to a dream that seemed kind of far-fetched, kind of ridiculous. But that's important. And I see that so much in what is presented here today by Regenesys. The journey wasn't without challenges. Learning to code, it's like meeting an alien. You don't understand the language. There's no teacher inside, no textbook for me. So I relied on the public library. And I calculated my parents must have saved for 2 years before I could actually get my first crappy computer. But I loved it and I delved into it. And what wonderful time that I have to fail and learn and experiment. And I became good at failing and even better at knowing what would fail. Fast forward, someone noticed. I got an internship at IBM and my career just started. But then it faced me almost immediately. Something faced me, a brick wall. And that was the fact that my technical skills and talent even was not enough. Was not enough to climb that ladder to get more senior. Why? Because to do anything, even if you think you're going to be a little computer programmer in the corner, you need to work with people. To get anything done in this world, you need to work with people. Managing them, managing yourself. And soon I learned that it's not only the technical folk that struggle with this, leaders, salespeople, they struggle with this stuff. And so wielding those important attributes of emotional intelligence and social intelligence was absolutely pivotal and key. And you know, recently, only like 10 years ago, I would say, now well defined, this notion of spiritual intelligence, connectedness, values, belief, ethics, humility, very rare, but so essential. And I've mentored so many startups, and when they don't have that, they fail because they cannot connect with what they're trying to accomplish, even though the tech is really, really good. So that is just a fundamental thing. And I can't count the amount of promotions and bonuses and special projects I earned because I could wield that thing, that life skill. And what I am so amazed with that I learned is that here at Regenesys, this is not just an add-on, it is integrated into the curriculum. How amazing is that? I spent countless hours learning the hard way all of these skills. And I think I still need to learn a little bit of financial intelligence, but my wife's got me on that. So that's key, right? Because you're at Regenesys, you're not just thinking about equipping someone for the technical capabilities and challenges that you will find in the career, but also about the human element, navigating complex industries and societies. So well done on that. It's rare. I wanted to share now a bit about Microsoft and through the lens of Microsoft. And what do we see? Of course, we've always been at the forefront of innovation. And these days, it's all about AI. We have this very special and unique relationship with ChatGPT, the OpenAI guys, and they run all on our cloud. And I wanted to talk a little bit about what we see, because our commitment is not only about, hey, let's go out and create cool tech. Yes, we do that. But it's also about empowering communities and individuals with that tech. Right. And I've been really privileged to be a part of shaping some of the environments where we can see potential thrive. You know, last year I was there when we announced in October of last year the partnerships and this big goal to train 30 million people in Africa on AI. Okay, in South Africa we partnered with the YES program. Or about 300,000 just in South Africa, individuals trained on AI. So we look and see how we can partner on that. But I see so much synergy between Microsoft and our mission and what Regenesys has set out to do. And our mission, which is to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more, you can so see the synergy. So as we look to the future, technology continues to evolve, of course, as it does at an unprecedented rate. AI, machine learning, quantum computing are no longer just buzzwords. They are the building blocks of a new era. And that new era, that resulting changes that it will bring in society demands a workforce that's not only capable or not only skilled, but also adaptable and innovative and ready to learn and harness and even possess technologies that do not exist yet. Who would have thought that 2 years ago, this term prompt engineering would become part of our lexicon? Now, for those in the tech industry, you know what I'm talking about. But for those who don't, let me explain. Prompt engineering is this fascinating process of actually going and crafting an instruction to the AI, generative AI, that helps it and guides it to give you more accurate answers or more relevant answers or more creative answers. So you could think about how, so this is all about asking the right questions at the next level, okay? So anyone who wants to leverage that capability, this is a fundamental skill, okay? And that only started happening and now in our lexicon 2 years ago, okay? It's ridiculous. So as we stand now at the brink of this wonderful new era, the type of person that I see that will integrate, not only integrate, but really thrive in this era of technology is a person that possesses a couple of unique characteristics and qualities. And I wanted to highlight my top 4. Okay. The first one is multidisciplinary knowledge. You cannot act and stay in your bubble. Sorry, the new era doesn't allow that. You have to go out and learn and gather insights out of other disciplines like psychology or ethics or biology. Okay. They all interrelate now. Why? Because that is the route to sustainability. You can't just do tech in a vacuum. The second one here is the ability to have continuous learning, the adaptability and continuous learning. You know, I spend about 20% of my time learning. A lot of it is outside of work hours. And it's, of course, from a passion, but also from a necessity. I need to learn and keep up to date with what's going on. And so that lifelong learning approach is absolutely key to face new challenges. The third one I wanted to talk about was creativity and innovation. It may not be what you think it is. A lot of people think creativity is just about coming up with ideas. And let me tell you that ideas are cheap. AI can give you lots of ideas, very good ones, in fact. But what is required is taking an idea from an idea to something that is really useful to people. And a lot of the times that takes a lot of courage, a lot of self-control, discipline in the person. Why? Because you are challenging status quo. You're challenging the way people have been doing things all this time. And now you're coming up with a different way. So it's a very different mindset. The final one I wanted to talk about is a global framework. This was spoken about a little bit, an ethical framework, global mindset and ethical framework. Navigating today's world requires you to not only think about South Africa, you got to look at the Africa perspective, the global perspective. How do you align with India? How do you align with the US, the West, the South, etc.? And so that does take a different mindset. But also within that framework of ethics. If you just look at AI, there's huge ethical implications around AI. And you could fail your entire idea if you don't look at what the ramifications of that is. So it's all about building sustainability and equitable solutions for humanity. And so this new era is calling for individuals, again, that is not just adaptable, but also can have that ethical outlook in the workplace to shape the future of society. So in closing, what I really value about Regenesys is its recognition that the future belongs to those that are not just technically skilled, but also creative, not just technically skilled, but resilient in all of its ways and adaptable in all of its ways. And so the courses and qualifications that you will find here is not just about acquiring knowledge, but about shaping holistically thinkers and innovators and leaders to be able to navigate. And that word is very important, navigate. Why? Because the situation is different every single day almost. And we saw a big navigation recently in COVID, where we needed to navigate COVID. A leader needs to learn how to navigate. And so shaping people that leave Regenesys into those navigators of the future, well done. We would like to partner. Through the complexity of this rapidly changing world is absolutely essential. So with that, I thank you. Thank you for inviting Microsoft to be a part of this launch. I will look forward to a partnership. Thank you.
Thank you, Ridwan. Are we all still in the room and online? How are we doing online? Are we all still here? Okay, I'm going to try something we did on Saturday, right? I'm going to say awaken and you're going to go potential, because that's one way for me to know that you're awake. Nantle Tema, I can see you here, right? Come on stage, Nantle. Come and give me an awaken potential. So Nonhle is a TV producer, actress, motivational speaker, and coach. Nonhle, do you want to do the Awaken Potential and get them up for me?
You know, it was much easier doing it in the morning. How's everybody doing? Are you all awake? So I'm going to say awaken and you're going to give me potential. Awaken. 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 I think they're awake.
Give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you, Nonhle, for joining us this evening as well. So now that I know you're awake, right? The next up and coming speaker, you need to be really awake for. Right? Not only is he a country head, spent time as CEO at Ogilvy before moving on to Google, he's also an author. And you can get his book here tonight at the end of this evening as well. And imagine having a signed a copy of the book from Dr. Alistair Makuna himself. So country head for Google, Director South Africa. Alistair, won't you come and enthrall this audience for us? And if they need awakening, Nonhle and I will get to that, but I doubt. I think he's going to keep you at the edge of your seat. Over to you, Alistair.
Thanks very much. Special welcome to all those that are joining us virtually from all over the world, and welcome to all of you tonight. And also special welcome to Dr. Yvonne Chaka, who epitomizes this notion of continuous learning. Many of you wouldn't know, but she's a scholar of AI. So that's impressive. What I wanted to talk about tonight is the concept of what if. Google was founded 25 years ago by PhD students, who sat down and said, what if? What if we index the world's information and all the websites in the world and make them accessible to the world and helpful? So the mission that drives Google today is to organize the world's information, make it universally accessible and helpful. Now, the ethos that runs through the organization is one of helpfulness. So we use the word helpfulness as a barometer, as a yardstick to test the value we add in society. So when we talk about shared value, we talk about inclusive growth, we talk about creating a better world that we can bequeath to future generations, the question we ask ourselves is, am I being helpful today, right? So I want us to keep this theme of what if close to our hearts. When Regenesys was started by 3 founders, the question they asked was, what if? What if we unleash the power of education to lift all boats, to uplift lives and livelihoods, to give human beings hope? And today we're talking about, what if we unleash the full power of technology in conjunction with education to really transform this world, to help African countries leapfrog their national progression? Africa cannot afford to talk about incremental growth anymore. We're here to talk about exponential growth. And that's why you're all here. So it's very exciting to be part of this movement, the movement that says, in our lifetime, we will ensure that every single African nation, all 54 member states, become digital sprinters. Now, digital sprinters are developing economies that have accelerated their economic progression by leaning into digital technology. If you look at the world's digital readiness index that's propagated and published by Cisco every year, there's about 146 countries that are profiled. And they look at a couple of things like ease of doing business, access to basic services, investment in education, in human capital, investment in technology, investment in infrastructure. And you look at all those things, and the number 1 country in the world is Singapore. 200 years ago, Singapore was a tiny fishing village in Asia with 2,000 people. But through visionary leadership and a belief that technology can really change lives and really create fortunes for everybody so that nobody's left behind, Singapore today is a digital powerhouse, economic powerhouse. Now, if you look at the top 5 companies in the world today, many of them are represented here tonight, and they're not older than 50 years old. So it's incredible what technology can do, and it's incredible the potential that lies in Africa. 1.3 billion people on the continent. 440 million Africans live in poverty. 480 million Africans have tasted the internet. Close to 800 million Africans have not been on the net. By 2030, an additional 300 million Africans will be on the internet. By 2050, 1 in 3 young people in the world will come from this continent. 23% of the world's youth population is in Africa. 90% of small businesses in Africa 90% of all businesses on the continent are small business, including in this country. 55% of our GDP in South Africa comes from small business. 38% of labor is small business. If you look at child-headed households, in this country alone, we've got about 50,000 child-headed households. Who is providing direction, education in those households? 40% of the households in South Africa are single parent-headed households. What if we were to make good quality education one of the 17 SDG goals of the UN a reality in Africa? Technology can do that. Technology not only is improving health outcomes, we're improving maternal health using artificial intelligence. We're using artificial intelligence to fight things like malaria and so on. Now with drones, with visual imaging, we can tell you where malaria-carrying mosquitoes are on the continent. We can deal with that. We can deal with climate action. We can predict floods within 7 days and warn communities to evacuate. We can predict earthquakes. If you look at the migration of locusts, we can forecast that to improve food security. 55% of all African workforces come from agriculture. Africa has the most second arable land in the world after Asia. Now, how do you improve those outcomes? How do you ensure that 10% of South Africans, 6.3 million people who go to bed hungry every night, can access the 10 million tons of wasted food in South Africa through technology? So if we look at the role of technology in improving education in this space that we call home, there's a number of things. The average teacher-pupil ratio on the continent is about 38, the highest being about 60 in a class. When we were young, we were 90 in a classroom. You cannot have personalized education and tuition in that kind of space. There's buffering that happens between teachers and pupils. We need to bring the numbers down. We need to get the best quality education in the palm of every child's hands. There's about 500 million unique cell phones on the continent. Now that's the power into people's hands. And today, I mean, you've got about 5 billion people in the world using Google. Google has about 9 products that are used by more than 1 billion people. Android alone is used by about 4 billion people. So how do you get the power of great technology into people's hands? How do you put tutors into every household? I spoke about 50,000 child-headed households in the world. I mean, in South Africa today. How do you put AI-driven tutors to deliver tuition to every child so that nobody's left behind? How do you complement and supplement single parent-headed households by bringing AI to the fore to solve all problems? We know that human beings are driven by 2 things, love and fear. How do you bring technology to try and make up for some of those human deficiencies we have in place? How do you improve educational outcomes by ensuring that you equip teachers and educators and learners? During COVID, all of us lend a hand to try and improve people's lives, to keep them informed, keep them safe, also keep them entertained thanks to YouTube. But very importantly, to solve the real need of, if people are holed up in their homes, how do you continue with education? How do you continue with employment? So things like Google Workspace for Education does a couple of things for people. Children are able to collaborate through our tools. They're able to look at one doc and work with it and communicate and add to it. You're able to provide instant high quality feedback to every learner, every student through AI. You're able to improve the quality of teaching that happens. You're able to help learners and students living with disabilities through assistive technology, with text magnification, with braille reading, with all sorts of things. Even now we have something called Read Along, which is a Google app, also a website form that actually helps kids how to read. A kid just reads into this thing and it gives them instant feedback to build them, constructive feedback to encourage them. We even have something called interview warm-up. We know the biggest barrier to a lot of graduates getting a job is they're not prepared to do interviews. With AI, we give you about 5 questions in whatever profession you choose. You answer these questions and you get instant feedback on how you fared in answering these questions. Little steps that are aiming at removing systemic barriers to what people call economic progression. Now, none of this would be possible unless we fix things like big access. Internet penetration on the continent is sitting in the 70%, some places as low as 30%. In Europe and North America, it's 95%. What if Africans became digitally savvy and everybody was on the net? That's why you'll hear big big tech companies talking about subsea cables to bring faster, affordable, reliable internet connectivity on the continent. We launched the Equiano subsea cable 2 years ago, all the way from Portugal down the Atlantic coast of Africa, landing in Nigeria, in Togo, in St. Helena, in Namibia, and in Melkbos just outside Cape Town. 3 times internet speed, 144 terabits per second, should decrease internet costs by about 20% in the fullness of time, reduces latency, increases bandwidth, will create about 180,000 indirect jobs in this country. It'll inject $6.7 billion into this economy. And we spoke about the launch of our cloud region in Africa for the first time, connecting all parts of the continent. That will bring about $2.5 billion into Africa's economy and create about 40,000 jobs. We're not the only ones doing that. My colleagues here are doing the same thing to ensure that Africa indeed is connected. The African Continental Free Trade Area that's looking to create a single digital market on the continent. For the first time, Africa is increasing intra-African trade. We're a sizable market of 54 countries, 1.3 billion people. If Africa started trading with itself, we will really, really lift the average economic size of every country within Africa. And with that, we're developing protocols to ensure that e-commerce is governed well, it's regulated well, and Africans are actually able to trade. But at the heart of it has to be investment in human capital. So AI can help improve education on the continent. We have to adopt technology. We have to think about the benefits of technology, not just in serving ourselves and our immediate imperatives and needs, but how do we use technology to create the kind of Africa that we will be proud to hand over to next generations. So I want to commend Regenesys for what you've done. I want to commend your pioneering entrepreneurial spirit. In my mind, I'm imagining 100, 1,000 other Regenesyses across the continent to really ensure inclusive growth, that nobody's left behind, and the dream of a free, prosperous Africa should actually become a reality if all of us train our guns on becoming problem solvers. Thank you.
Thank you, Alistair. We pray your dream and blessings for us reach fruition too. And with partners like you, Ridwan, Terence, Dr. Soglo, I have no doubt with this type of partnership that we can reach millions of students across the globe. And that is the preciousness that technology as an equalizer brings to education and to the world of students that wouldn't otherwise be able to travel and live in Sandton and access our education. Thank you to all our speakers. Let's give them another round of applause, please. The next person, our final speaker for this evening, is our founder of Regenesys, and is a combination, a chameleon of many traits of many great leaders that I want to draw comparison to. So Marco came into our region in Africa as a development, as a monk to be committed to development work. So you would think, typically, if I think monk, you think of a person meditating, calm, serene, altruistic, and some of those qualities are there. Some. Right? But if I had to compare him, and if you see how he dressed up today, I was a little bit horrified, but then I thought, this is Marco. This is Marco. He can't be tamed. He can't be put into a box, and he can't be predicted on any day. So a little bit about 3 people that came to mind when I thought about him. OCDs beyond. And then I thought of Tesla. Tesla's and his OCDs, I think, like pale in comparison to Marco and his excessive OCDs. OCD about perfection, about drive, about excellence, about touching things. So you'll notice he loves to greet the Indian way. He loves to give an elbow and uses COVID as an excuse. But that's just some of the OCDs, right? And then we move to Steve Jobs, right? Let me go. So I've covered Tesla. And then the other one I thought of was, I'm sure Elon Musk, everybody follows him, right? And Marco's actually forbid from going to Twitter, because we're too worried about what he might say that will lash back at us. So we keep him, we prevent him, because we don't want another Elon Musk on our hands. But very much like that. The same monk that came in to serve the community in Orange Farm, built schools and feeding schemes and hospitals for them and served them for 7 years of his life, is the temper tantrum in the boardroom as well. And if you've seen it, he's got nothing. I mean, race cars have nothing against. You know, when you talk about race adverts, you go from 0 to 200 in a few seconds. I'm talking this detonates, guys. It detonates, right? And then we come to Steve Jobs. I thought about what did I see? Because when I looked at his dressing today, I thought, he was thinking Steve Jobs, right? And he's a very much an Apple fan. So I thought there's some admiration. And I thought it was the creativity of Steve Jobs. It really is the creativity, the serial entrepreneur that created something really unique, you know, owning 20% of the market share to other products and still driving 80% of consumable revenue. Now that's elite that you want to subscribe to. And that's something that became the heart of Regenesys. You know, when we talk about so there's the monk background with the altruistic background coming in to serve, to want to make the world a better place, conscious leadership. That's where that came in. But then the eliteness, you know, and you hear about how we're the best university, we're the biggest in Africa, and it's true, right? I'm trying to actually mimic a bit of how you're going to experience him just now, right? And so the jobs comes out, the creativity, the serial entrepreneur, the perfectionist. You know, we even had, when we moved into this building, had to build a shower next to Marco's office for his sleepless nights that he would keep the rest of us awake too, with a sleeping bag that's rolled up under the desk, right? So I'm talking about extremes here. You know, Viv and the team, when they're putting tenders together, my God, they don't even have the weekend or a Sunday. You know, it's that type of drive and obsession that we have in this man that has done everything from community development to breaking limits of a life of extreme. Really taking the road less traveled, climb Kilimanjaro, scuba dive, parachuted, travel to over 100 countries. And then, Alistair, to your point, making education equitable. And I'd leave Marco to talk about Ed for All, something that the directors and shareholders are very passionate about, and it's a gift to the world to give education from as little as 500 Rand, accessible through technology, and I'd let him talk about that. But really, his purpose with all his propensities and OCDs and eccentric behavior is really about making the world a better place. So put your hands together, and I hope you will feel as inspired as I do to work around this someday tantrum drama king and someday.
Good evening to all of you. I was very inspired by you talks and little interaction. You know, we had before this. You know, when I think about big companies like Microsoft and Google, Intel. You know, I've completely changed my view after interaction with you. I feel we have so much common. You're such a good people, these big bad companies that control the world, and exploit and rest, Yeah. Yeah, tonight is really special night and very emotional, as Nico said. It's the beginning of something new and something big. At Regenesys, we say it's a new baby, new Regenesys baby has been born. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about two dreams, past and future, and what if, as Alistair said. So first dream is about our beginning from 0 to 25 years, and next one is going to be about our future. So this first dream we started 25 years ago with Penny Vivian. Penny Vivian, can I just ask you to stand up so everyone can see you? Yeah. Vivian, please. When I say Vivian William, you think it's a white female. Actually, it's a black male. Vivian William. I still don't know what's his name, what's his surname. So this was a dream of making the world a better place. We were at Wits University, and we were young idealists. I was a monk, and Penny was involved in freedom struggle. She was a communist, well, not for long. As soon as she got a first child, she changed her ideology from being communist to being hardcore capitalist. And Vivian was involved in psychology and community development. So we're young people, young idealists, and we had this dream of making the world a better place, And we spent 3 years at Wits, we decided to leave, and start Regenesys, And we're young, we had nothing, we had no money, just like, just an idea, dream. And just unbelievable what happened, how this idea, how this dream manifested, in 25 years, from nothing. We started from a little flat in Killarney with this idea of providing holistic education, making the world a better place. We saw even then there were so many problems in the world, so much suffering, so much injustice, wars, diseases, racism, discrimination, poverty, all of this. And we realized it's all about leadership. To make the world a better place, we have to build better leaders, conscious leaders. So that was our mission from the beginning. From then to now, today, from 0 to 300,000 students across 190 countries across the world. And having students, and some of our students are presidents of the countries and CEOs and mayors and presidents, CEOs of multinational companies and politicians and celebrities. Some for corporate clients, clients like Mercedes and Microsoft. We did a project a few years ago for a big project for Microsoft, and the big multinational companies and all types of companies across different sectors, across different countries across the world. So it's a beautiful dream. Now we have offices about 8 countries and 4 continents, and we are growing exponentially, not what's the word you use? Gradual, linear, not incremental or linear, exponential. So we've been really blessed, and Regenesys is really a purpose-driven organization, and that purpose is what brought us together, what kept us together, and what is keeping us together. So it's a beautiful dream that I just want to share with you that we experienced. These 300,000 people that pass through our doors, they're creating a ripple effect in their families, in their teams, in their organizations, in their communities, in their cities, countries, continents, and the world. And that's our contribution to the world. Developing better leaders, not just intellectually, but also emotionally and spiritually, and physically and financially, as Nico and Rani were explaining Regenesys' philosophy of holistic education. And why again, why so much emphasis on this emotional intelligence, spiritual intelligence? If you look at today's world, you still have so many problems. How can you explain America blocking ceasefire, vetoing at UN a ceasefire between Palestine and Israel? How can you explain that? Is that the level of consciousness that we have in this world? Who are the people who made the decision? Is that a reflection of our collective consciousness? Who has produced those people? Which universities have produced them? Who are the graduates? Are they from Harvards and Stanfords and MITs and universities of London and all Ivy Leagues? What is IQ? What is rational intelligence without spiritual intelligence, without purpose, without ethics, without meaning, without love, without gratitude, without humility, without compassion? It's a problem. Knowledge is a power. And power can be used to destroy and to build. So knowledge and power of people without spiritual intelligence, without emotional intelligence is dangerous. As Einstein said, like atomic bomb, it can be used for good and bad, So that's why we at Regenesys emphasize so much that power of emotional and spiritual intelligence. That's why it's so important. That's why we talk about it all the time. I know many of you are bored about this concept. Yeah. Okay, so just a little bit about our future dream. And what if? I like your what if, I think what brought us together tonight is our collective dream, our collective purpose. Our destinies have crossed our paths. That's why we are here tonight. We aren't here just to launch another school. I believe there's a goodness in each one of you. There is divinity. There is a greatness. There's a goodness that you want to do something good. You want to make the world a better place for future generations. You feel responsibility. You have urge, desire to do something good. You understand education is a powerful way. It's the only way, actually, through education, we can change the world, by developing better leaders and better managers, using technology, giving access to education to the world and rest, So what is our dream? Really, it's a dream of better world. That's why we are here. And I want to thank you for being part of our dream, for coming tonight, for giving us your time. I know it's hot in this room and some of you are hungry and a lot of issues with your families and work and stress and all that, But we want to really build something beautiful. We want to build the best, as Ryan says, best or nothing. We want to build best school of technology in the world, That's our dream. You want to build a better one than MIT and Stanford and Harvard and IIT in India. How will we do that, And the formula is very simple, You must get the best faculty, best lecturers. Not just IQ, from IQ point of view, but lecturers who are emotional intelligence, spiritual intelligence, who are committed to human development, human transformation. We don't want to be university, Ivy League university, which treats students like numbers. We don't have lecturers and academics who just teach theory, who have never run businesses, who have never started businesses, who never failed, who don't understand really how real world operates. We want practitioners to teach our students. We want best quality program. We don't have magic in class. You don't get inspiration. You don't get best people like Alistair and Ridwan and Terence and sorry, I cannot pronounce your name. A doctor from Benin. Yeah. As Nico was saying and Rani, we want to create job creators, not job seekers. We want our students to start working on their projects when they start their course, to solve the problems in the world. Develop one app to solve one problem and become billionaire after 3 months. We know it's possible. So many people have done it, Actually, we want our students who are doing our bachelor's degree after 1, 2, 3 years to drop out of bachelor's degree like Bill Gates has done and Richard Branson and a few other ones and become billionaires and solve problems in the world, So we really want to be entrepreneurial type of school of technology. We want to produce nerds and geeks, is it geeks? Who are emotionally intelligent, spiritually intelligent, physical intelligence, to eat less pizza and drink less Coke, eat more vegetables. So we're going to tell them, you must eat your vegetables, As Alistair said, digital sprinters. We want to produce our students, graduates who are digital sprinters, aggressive, ambitious, full of energy. Everything's energy. I was talking to Alistair earlier. Life is energy. Everything's about energy. People who can manage, lift energy and bring enthusiasm and inspire the people and, facilitate that energy and manage that energy. Or graduates who solve the problems in the world using technology to make our world a better place. There's so much can be done. How can we do this? We don't have what's the investment you mentioned, 100 billion that Amazon is bringing to the country and Microsoft, and Google. What we know, what we have learned at the Regenesys and what we have utilized to create this success and this dream, to manifest it is, we know the power, the real power is within us. That each one of us, each human being, there's a genius in each one of us. There is Mandela in each one of us. There is Steve Jobs and Elon Musk, and there's a greatness. There's a divinity. And that greatness, that power which is within us is blocked by our fears and self-limiting beliefs, And we have to work to break those fears and change those self-limiting beliefs. Enemies are within us, So we need to unleash that power which is within us, That power is greater than money, than billions of rands. We believe in power for dreams. We know our future is determined by our dreams, not by what we are now. And that's what we tell our people at Regenesys always. Doesn't count how much money we have in our bank accounts. Doesn't count that we have this beautiful building in the middle of Santon. Doesn't count that we are only business school in Santon, the richest square mile in Africa, and all this that we have. What counts is our dream, our purpose. That's the source of our power. And we believe as long as we stick to our purpose, we don't forget our purpose, we'll become invincible, and then we'll manifest our dream. We'll do whatever is required. We'll persevere. We'll fight for our dream. We'll work hard. We'll be passionate. We'll fail. We'll get up. And we'll fail. We'll get up. And we'll learn to fail fast. That's what we learned in Silicon Valley. They say you must fail and experiment. What's called rapid experimentation. Fail fast and get up. Fail fast and get up. In South Africa, we need to learn to fail fast. And every failure, actually, it's a step closer to your success. Okay. So I want to give you a challenge, especially these gentlemen from these four global large corporations. What if we could team up together? We have education. We can give education to all of Africa. 1.3 billion people, 54 countries. What if we come together, unite, come up with a big goal, audacious, crazy, not 30 million students to educate or 20, but how about 100 million? How about giving education to 100 million people in Africa? We have education. We have a bachelor's degree program in computer science. We have programs in data science, artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, project management, entrepreneurship, name it. You can give this knowledge. We can give accredited qualifications. We can give upskilling programs. How about if you come on board and you mobilize your own resources and you give some cloud space and we link with some corporate social investment opportunities, and software and teaching, and we mobilize our resources. What if we could do that? We could really change Africa. There's only one way to change Africa, to make Africa digitally capable and competitive, and to get out of this vicious cycle of poverty through education. And could really empower them. Using technology, we can reduce cost of education dramatically, and we can give access to education to every village in Africa. And those millions of people that will end up in vicious cycle of poverty, crime, drugs, suicide, depression, unemployment. We can change the vicious cycle of poverty into vicious cycle of development, jobs, happiness, development, competitiveness. Wouldn't that be beautiful if we could do this together? So we will try and we'll talk to you after this. We'll see if we can do something together after this forum. But just idea, we're planting, and we can bring a few other partners on board, and we can do this. We could do this together. So we have something called Education for All, which is giving access to education, using technology, and basically enabling people to develop themselves, to empower themselves, and to achieve their dreams and to change the world. Okay. So I want to again thank you all for coming tonight. Thank you for being part of our dream. I believe it is our responsibility, to make our world a better place. I believe that's the reason we are born. We are not born just to eat, sleep, and procreate and die, not remembered. We are born to do great things. We are born to make the world a better place. That's our responsibility, because we have been blessed, Just to be in this room, we've been blessed. Just to survive COVID, we've been blessed, It's our responsibility for future generations, for ourselves. That's the reason why we are born. So do not forget that. And by doing this, you will get happiness. All the things, money, name, fame, and all that, will give you limited happiness and short-term happiness, We're going to be judged, when the day comes, 70 or 80. What have we done, for other people? Not how many houses we have or how much money in our bank account or what we have done for ourselves, We'll be judged by what difference we made in this world, So while we still have time now, and some of us are very young, I didn't expect, Alistair, asked him, how old are you? He told me age. I said, you should be at least 15 years younger, Then I asked him, what do you think my age is, So we still have time. We still have things to do. And let's commit to doing something good and great, So thank you for being part of this big dream. We're looking forward to building this beautiful institution to become big and to make big difference in the lives of millions of people across the world, not only Africa, also across the world. Different school of technology with heart and soul. Okay, so thank you so much, and all the best, and God bless all of you. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Marco. Let's give him another round of applause. I mean, the birth of the School of Technology, what we want to do in the world, the lives we want to change, this is what it is. I'm now going to hand over to our co-founder, Dr. Penny Law, who's going to do our vote of thanks. Dr. Penny Law has been here, since the inception of Regenesys, and she really represents, while Marco represents all our propensities and eccentric drive in sales and marketing, Dr. Penny Law really represents our academic rigor, our quality, and what we do from an ethical perspective. So she really is the embodiment of 5IR and how we maneuver and balance what we do from our sales and our marketing with how we execute internally. Over to you, Dr. Penny Law.
I'm aware that I stand between you and dinner and wine and your glass of wine. So I'll be very brief and concise. Okay. So I want to thank everyone for making an effort to be here. To the 1,000+ people who join us online, thank you very much. To all of you who made an effort who navigated traffic to come here. And I know we're a special grouping of people. We have CEOs, we have got directors, we've got senior executives, managers, parents, prospective students. Thank you for making the effort to be here and to share this very auspicious occasion with us. Thank you. But I'd like to thank our exceptional speakers today. And I'd like you to please stand up when I call out your name so we can applaud you again. Mr. Terence Naidu from AWS. Dr. Bienvenu Soglu from Intel. Mr. Ridwan Basadine from Microsoft. And Dr. Alistair Mokoena from Google. Thank you so much for your insights and for inspiring us. And then Marcus spoke about our faculty in India. We have the smartest people based in India who specialize in technology. So the reason why we exist is because we have a great South African team supported by our academic faculty in India. So I'd like to thank them. And then I'd like to thank our organizers. So this would not have been possible if we did not have the entire institution come behind to make this event possible. So I'd like to thank, I don't know where he is, he's run away now, Johan and the events team. Please stand up. Ashlyn and the marketing team, thank you very much. IT and the operations team, and then Rich Cafe for organizing this delicious meal. And then finally, I'd like to thank Dr. Marco Sharavanya for, as the chair of Regenesys and for being the brainchild behind the school. Niku Kruger for being the head of the School of Technology. Dr. Shilpa Joshi, who's the academic head. And they have breathed life into the school and all the programs that we offer within this new school. I asked Niku a few weeks ago what his vision is for the school. And he said he wants the school to be the leading school in Africa and then in the world. And so I want us all to be a witness to this. Because when this happens, I want us all to come back together to celebrate this great achievement. But Niku, instead of having wine, we need to have champagne. Okay. So everyone, thank you so much for making this occasion so special and for making our dream a reality. I got this wonderful idea from Terence, and he said, I need to take a video selfie. And so I want to prove that I can use my cell phone. All right. So what we all need to do is scream out, awaken potential. Thank you. Viva Regenesys, viva. Thank you. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay.
So non-letima will help our co-founder, William Vivian, to hand over the gifts to Mr. Terence Naidu from AWS. Marco, don't you want to come up, please? Viv, did you see that? She kissed him, you must kiss them. Come forward, Penny, and so you can see who's the tech geeks and who's our fashion icon, right? You can see Mr. William Vivian is our fashion icon in the found team, right? So that's Mr. Terence Naidu. Mr. Beanvos, Dr. Beanvos logo, please. He's got a laptop bag. Did you notice that their logos are on their bags? Dr. Beanvos logo. Mr. Ridwan Basadeen, Microsoft. So you'll notice that each of your bags have your own logo with the Regenesys. Right. Are we good with photos? Dr. Alistair Mokwena. Come on, you can do better. The food is on its way. Just make sure it says Google on this one, please. Can we have all the speakers on stage again with our shareholders, please? If we could just have the speakers on stage quickly with the shareholders, if all of you could come on stage. Okay. Yeah. We're going to take a photo and you can clap while they're getting their photos taken. But this is the part where you're supposed to sing for us, Viv, because Yvonne didn't want to today, and we don't want to put her on the spot when she said no, thank you. Okay. So all the directors, if we could just have, yeah. Yeah. So we can have all the directors come up on stage as well as our guests from so Phil and Julian, if you wouldn't, and Mimi, if you could come across as well, please. Sibo, Shamita, yeah, Nico Shulpa. Yeah. Yvonne, please join us on stage. Yeah. We can just, yeah. So I think, yeah, you're okay there. If we can have our shareholders and speakers in the front, please. Yeah. Thank you. Viv, I'm missing you. No. You have to be the rose between the rose between these two. Come. People are waiting. They're hungry. Come. Right. There we go. Right. There we go. Can you see all of them? There we go. Oh, I'm supposed to be one of the directors. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm completely indebted to you for being so time patient with us, for managing your tummies from not being that loud rumbling. I appreciate that too. And I'd like to leave you with this following message about what's so important about our School of Technology. Let's do one awaken potential before I tell you why. Awakening. I think I'm going to do it better. Awakening. Awakening. Right? You know what you got to do here when you come to Regenesys. So I'm going to leave you with this quote that I think really captures what we mean about leadership in the world. And this is not what we're about, but what we aim to disrupt. Politics without principles, education without character, science without humanity, and commerce without morality are not only useless, but positively dangerous. Right? And that is what makes Regenesys unique, differentiates us, and does make us the best in the world. Because we wish to awaken potential and send out conscious leaders that will evolve this world into a sustainable planet for people, profit, and the planet. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for spending this evening with us. We look forward to partnering with you, growing our School of Technology, and growing our footprint and impact on the world through you. Thank you again. Give yourselves a round of applause. If I can ask, we've got a buffet at the back. If I can ask if we move from the front, please. We're going to have the front 3 tables going. And as they come in, we can just create a bit of a circle. So we'll go in this way, come out this way, and then the next lot can go in. Thank you very much. Enjoy the meals prepared with much love for you this evening. And please take advantage of the networking opportunity. I just want to remind you about the Servings of Self-Mastery, which is Dr. Alistair Makuna's book. If you can just tell me where it is to the corner where you see the banner Ed for All. Please, Alistair will sign your books. And then The Secrets of Success by Dr. Marco is in your goodie bag for you this evening as well. Enjoy your evening.